How's it going, Ron?
Good. How are you?
Not bad at all. So you got a new album that just got released.
We do.
Yeah, Pangaea,
Yep.
Beowulf, seven
Correct.
tracks, new stuff.
20 years.
So it was like that. How much effort you guys put into making this happen?
Oh, it came really quick, actually, because we didn't really plan on doing a record. We planned on getting together and rehearsing the old stuff and like playing live. And then in one of the practices, I think it was like Corey's like, "Hey man, I got some new songs," and everybody else was like, "Well, I got some new songs. Well, I got some new songs," and then it just became, "Well, let's go do another record." So it kind of just kind of happened.
And that's kind of fun when you do have new music. When you say,
We actually, believe it or not, we have Corey has notebooks full of stuff, and we actually have more ideas even right now. We kind of practiced a couple little riffs recently, so there might be some more stuff out there pretty soon.
so keeping busy, like in 2024, how's Ron Poulsen and Pangaea doing? In life and in general.
Life is pretty busy, family, kids, work, um, but with Pangea, we are we're obviously rehearsing. We've got two or three like little mini tours lined out between like Oklahoma and Texas with the idea after that to try to play some prog festivals like Prague Stock and next year and stuff like that. That's kind of the goal.
Like you said, Pangea, and I said Pangaea. I was like, I'm sure people mess up the name a lot too.
No, a lot of people overseas actually pronounce it Pangaea. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
are you in Canada?
I'm in Canada, yeah.
That French influence that says Pangaea, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, just wondering because sometimes people take it really serious, like how pronunciation is done and stuff.
Pangea is American.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Prog rock and melodic rock, in 2024, how's the health in that in general, let's say in your region?
It's tough here, because people they don't want to hear original music here in this region. They want a cover band or a tribute band, and but what happens is those kind of bands just become like a jukebox, or they become background noise. People don't even pay attention to you, right? But what we found out when we've played recently, we played a show in Beaumont, Texas, at an art festival, and we played in Muskogee, Oklahoma, actually at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. And what we found out is people, once they hear us, they're like, "Oh," and they get it. You know what I mean? It's like they get these guys are actually playing their instruments. There's no backing tracks. You know, it's not it's not what mainstream, you know, corporate music wants to shove down your throat. It's something. It's kind of fresh and kind of new, and it's different. Even though saying it's fresh and new, it still draws from like what we grew up with on prog rock and the kind of prog rock that the guys in the band like. It borrows from that definitely, but with the updated, kind of more, I guess, kind of more open and approachable sound. I think, more modern.
Yeah, and modern sound does stuff that's different too. You're still playing the classic rock, styles, and then the modern sound kind of modernizes you. So it's a win-win situation too with this.
That's what we try to go for. A lot of people ask, we kind of, I guess, molded ourselves after Asia. That's kind of the big influence on our band. And when people always ask me what we sound like, I always say it's kind of like a mixture of Pink Floyd and Asia. I mean, that's what I get from it. And somebody else may get something different from it, and that's great. But that's just kind of what I think it relates to the most. Those two bands.
And you've named just two big bands there. So I mean, there's lots of fans in each. circle there. So Pink Floyd is huge around the world, Asia as well. I would presume here in Canada they are.
Well, they're big. Yeah, huge.
So yeah, like when you're promoting an album, how difficult is it today? Because it's like the outreaches now are a little bit different. It's like YouTube promo videos and Spotify, and this is the outfits you got to go to. And radio is not like supporting as it was at one time.
No, well, I'll tell you, back in the day when we were doing it before, it was pretty much Andy and I stuffing envelopes with CDs and letters, typed letters, and mailing and going to the post office with these big bins full of, trying to get people to listen to our music. And nowadays, load it all right there and push a button, and everybody on the whole planet can hear it like that. So it's a lot easier than it was in the past with everything. We are actually getting radio play in places I've heard like Denmark. The Dutch progressive rock is playing our music. It's getting played in New York. Corey told me the other day we've had people from even New Zealand reaching out to us. We've had people. I've heard at least two or three stories of people that have been like, "Man, where you guys been for 20 years? I've been waiting for this since your last CD." And the answer is that we got busy with life. Life got in our way with families and children and jobs and school and things like that. And we all just kind of went our different ways. But at the end of the day, we all knew deep down in our hearts that this is what we were supposed to be doing, and we kind of kept in touch over the years. About 5 years ago, we decided we're going to do this. And then about 3 years ago, so when Corey was just like, "Hey guys, we're meeting in Dallas this weekend. That's it. We're going to do it." And we did. And like I said, we met with the idea of just kind of like being able to be friends and brothers and be together first and play the music that we'd already recorded and hopefully play live, to it turning into, now we've got a really nice website and we've got airplay, and we're getting, people like you graciously are giving us their time, and we really appreciate it.
Well, you got to help one another in this era of, the internet, because it's there's high competition everywhere, and when you like something, you got to promote it, the best you can.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And like, let's say going on the music video tomorrow will come. Like,
Mhm.
how fun was that to do? Because it's like a new, brand new video.
Yeah, one of our more probably I don't know how to more Asia type, like more mainstream type like songs. I'll tell you, it got loud in there because you don't just go in there and record it one time. You're there all day. So it was after a while, it was kind of you get a little drained. But oh no, we were very very excited and uh, very hyped about the whole thing, and get a new video out, get a new album out, get a new video out, be able to play live. All these things for us, 20 years later are, and just the response, people are generally, they really like it. Everybody from past fans to like, even I've got a daughter that's in college, and all of her friends are like, "Man, this is great. This ought to be on the radio right now." And so it's the the span, I guess, and the whole gap of people who like it, are, it's really vast, and it's very big, and it's not overwhelming. It's very humbling, and it just takes you back because we didn't expect anybody to be like, "Hey, this is great." We put it out there and you kind of hope that people like it, but then you start hearing the feedback, and it's amazing. It's a really good feeling.
And Ron's like, when considering, the genres of music that, is kind of niche in a sense, is like not mainstream. So there's kids today that just even discovered this genre like last month. So it's what you
We
do. I mean, that's great.
we find that people, to say the word prog, a lot of modern bands are being put into prog that we don't really think are prog. We think they're more kind of like mainstream or pop, even like pop music. We consider prog like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and UK King Crimson. That was our prog, and that's kind of what we want to honor and try to live up to, you know. And a lot of people, like people will say Dream Theater is prog because they don't know where to put it. I love Dream Theater. You know, to me, Dream Theater is almost more heavy metal. You know, I mean, they've got a lot of prog elements to it, but um, or they'll say a couple of bands I really listen to right now are Pineapple Thief and Porcupine Tree. They're very prog, but they're kind of more like us. They've got very dynamic moments in their music like we do, where you'll have the hard stuff or the riff or the fast, but then you'll have the slow and the melodic, you know, and being able to put that together, I think is something that we're very good at, like Asia, you know.
How long does it take you to set up the drum sets? Because I mean, from what I've seen, it's not small.
Well, what we did, you're gonna have to blame Andy for that. But if you look back at it, like think about like what Bill Bruford was doing, you know, in like yes, his drum sets were massive,
Yeah.
but what we do is uh, Andy's obviously it's Andy's baby, so we just put the stuff up there and get out. He's like, I need the stands. We'll put the stands up, and then he goes, I need the cymbals. We'll bring them up the cymbals, you know, and you try not to get too many cooks in the kitchen, you know what I mean? Because if everybody's standing there, it just gets in. He becomes he can't do it all at once. So he's like, he'll put the rug down, then he'll put the drums down, and you just bring him the elements and let him sit back there and do it. And it actually doesn't take as long as you think because we've done it so much that you know it's kind of just we know that's the first thing that needs to be put together, so we do that. And this last show, Corey carried 4 keyboards with him, so you know then we knew okay that's going to be a big deal. And we have a 6th player in the band now, Scott, and he carries keyboards and guitars. So you know you need to set all the back line up first, and then like Steve and Daryl and me, we're pretty easy because we just have our instruments and we plug direct. So we wait till we get all that stuff put up, then we put the stuff in the front up, and you think it's going to take an extremely long amount of time, but it doesn't. We've been doing it so long, and the 6 of us work together, unload the van, you know, put it up, put it back in the van. We've done it so many times that it's kind of just like second nature, and it becomes pretty easy and it works pretty quick. But yeah, Andy's got the big joke with Andy is he's like it's one drum kit, and we're like it's not one drum kit, Andy, it's 2 drum kits, and he's like no man, it's one drum kit, and we're like no, it's like you got 2 snares, you know, double bass, 2 double bass, you know, this set of cymbals, this set of toms, this set of toms, it's 2 drum sets.
Yeah.
But he's always like no man, it's one. It's like no, he's got, and that what you see in that video is 2 of his mini drums. It's he's got 2 or 3 sets of DWs, and he's got pearls, and he's got all this other. It's you know he's got electronic kits, and he's got like you know obviously if you asked you know a bit about drumming, and so yeah his house is pretty much just like a drum store basically. It's he's got sets. He opened the closet and was like, oh yeah, that set of cymbals, and he took all the cymbals off, and we came in like the next rehearsal and it was like these aren't the cymbals that were here last time, and he's like yeah I changed them all out, and it's just like you know yeah
Wow.
he's got stuff. But when you're not married and you don't have kids, you know you can do. Guys like me who are married and have 3 kids, you know it's like I got a bass, I have a bass, don't touch my bass. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me tell you, the drum set does look impressive because that's the first thing you see is like, well, this is a great band. You know,
Well,
when you have massive equipment like even Pink Floyd, like we mentioned earlier in this early 70s, double bass drum
yeah,
for you know this Pink Floyd stuff, that's incredible because they're not really playing it, but it's show.
yeah,
So
or
it's
drummers, yeah.
and everything that you know today in music, it seems a lot of people are minimizing stuff, you know, and when you do get to see something huge, it shows you kind of like, well, there's still hope somewhere.
Yeah, you know, for us, it's not it might not be just trying to be huge. It's just trying to be able to cover everything because when you record. So what we found out when we did Beowulf, the 5 of us went out there. It was Andy, Corey, Steve, Daryl, and myself. And Corey will do like a bunch of keyboard parts, or he'll do a bunch of guitar parts. So when we got back and we're like, we're not going to be able to pull all this off live because you know if I play this part then this other part I played isn't going to be there. So we got Scott Drawn, who was actually in a version of the band before, and he is playing keyboards and guitars as well, and helping with the vocals. And so we actually have 6 guys on stage now, just because all the guitars and vocals, acoustic, electric, even though Steve and Daryl both sing and play, there's even more acoustic and electric parts, on the album that you're not going to hear when we play live. So we've actually got 6 guys on stage right now. And, Corey's got 4 keyboards, and I might have 2 basses, and Steve's got 2 or 3 guitars because he plays acoustic and electric, and Scott plays acoustic and electric. So it looks like a lot of stuff. But it's not like we're trying to just go up and, like Kiss would have like all those amplifiers, and most of them they're not even hooked up, right? Well, we're not trying to do that. We're actually using what we have there. There's a purpose for it. We need it, kind of a thing.
Well, regardless, it's very impressive, and I admire it. So it's great. It's like that Beowulf, the album. Let's just hope this makes some charting and stuff, like, because it's great.
That'd be great.
So all I can say, keep up the great work, and I really enjoyed talking to you about this stuff. And we're gonna see what Pangaea is gonna do in the summer.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. There's actually, I'll just leave you with this. I don't know, Marillion does a thing every year. I think like in Canada, they do like Marillion weekend. I think it's in Toronto or Montreal. I can't remember which city it's in, but we have actually, knock on wood, you can apply to open for them. So we actually applied to open for them. They have their weekend. So hopefully that would be awesome, be up in Canada for 3 days. But yeah, that's part of that whole playing the festival thing that we're looking for, playing Prague, all the Prague festivals. That's part of that whole deal. But yeah, we'd love to come to Canada.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful day, Ron.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks.
All right. You have a good one. See you.
Bye.